Hi everyone, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to another video. I am here to share with you the new release from the Crafters Workshop. I want to share with you a few new products first before we get to the stencils, and one of the products I want to share with you is this new watercolor paper, and it's a collaboration with Ken Oliver and the Crafters Workshop. You get 4 sheets of 8.5 by 11, and this is heavyweight paper. Now one side is textured and one side is smooth, so you have both options, which is awesome, especially if you're a stamper like me. You can stamp on the smooth side, do some other things on the textured side. So you have those options. Here's a look at the textured side, and then I'll compare it also with the smooth side so you get a good idea of what you're getting on both sides of the paper. And this is a good heavyweight paper, so it's going to hold up with all your mediums. Now next up are these panels. These are mixed media boards. They come in 6 by 6 and they come in 12 by 12. These are nice, thick, sturdy boards for you mixed media artists, or if you're like me and you just want to make some artwork for your house, these are going to be perfect to add into frames. Now these fit perfectly with the 6 by 6 and the 12 by 12 stencils, so you have a lot of room to play around with these. I'm going to have some fun with these in upcoming videos. And finally, here is the newest addition to their medium line, which is a super thick gel. This is kind of like your gel mediums. It's a little bit thicker, and it's not as much of a glue as your gel mediums. So where I would use my gloss gel medium and my matte gel medium to glue things down and really use it like a collage medium, the super thick gel medium is more just to add dimension and texture to your products, and it dries super clear. So if you just want to add some shine to something through your stencils, this is the medium for you. Now here's a look at it compared to the gloss gel medium. It is a little bit thicker, like I said, has more texture to it. And again, it's just not as much of a glue or a collage medium. Now let's move on to the cake and cookie stencils. These stencils are made out of food grade plastic. They are super thick. They're going to hold up really well. I don't use them in cake and cookie. I actually use them in my craft room. However, I do want to share them with you. The first one was the anchor. The next up we have seashell, which is super cute. And I do want to mention these stencils are 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Next up we have thank you in a really great font, and then you have congrats also in that same font. So those are going to be great to add to your cakes and cookies. Next up is jack-o'-lantern, then spider's web. These are going to be great around fall time for Halloween. Then we have the single tree cake and cookie stencil, the reindeer, great for around holiday, and then we have the single star. I love that there's so much room around these, so you can really kind of go crazy with your frosting and it's not going to go in there. Now this next one is the single heart, and then you also have this be mine and I love you that coordinate and fit inside that heart. Next up we have the flower field, the small squares, which is a great grid-like stencil. Great for adding texture. And then we have the burlap texture, which again, great for adding texture. Now those are the new cake and cookie stencils. Let's get into the everyday crafting stencils. Now a little bit about the stencils before I go into all the new ones. First of all, the Crafters Workshop are high quality stencils. They are nice and thick. They hold up well. Let me just say they hold up well to my 5-year-old daughter using them. She's not gentle, and I trust her to use these because I know they're not going to break. Even my super delicate ones, she goes kind of crazy with them. Another great thing about these stencils are they have that number right there at the bottom. With that number, you can go to the Crafters Workshop blog, type that into the search bar. You're going to find a ton of different projects from the design team using that stencil. You're never going to run out of ideas. Also, all of their designs come in 6x6 and 12x12, so you have those options with each stencil. Now, the first one is one you've already seen in the cake and cookie design, and that is the spider's web. But this is available in the crafting stencil, so not food grade safe with these. So if you want to use them on your food, go with that cake and cookie, but this one is great for your crafting projects. And the next step is another one you've seen already too, but I am so excited to use this in the fall. This is the jack-o'-lantern stencil. This comes again 6x6, 12x12. Mix and match with these. I love both sizes. I'm super excited to use these. Next up is the gauze stencil. This is one I'm going to be using quite often just to add texture to my backgrounds on my handmade greeting cards. Now, again, even with like more of the masks like this where you don't have that outer edge on your stencils, you're still going to get that number on there. So first of all, you can easily identify your stencil if you blog or anything like that, but also you can go to the website and get those ideas. Next up is the Merry Tree, which comes in 6x6 and 12x12. I love this for Christmas time and using it with those mixed media boards to create some handmade signs to go in frames very easily. And also this one is Reindeer Joy. I cannot wait to foil that reindeer with the hot foil gel come this December. That's going to be a project. We have this gorgeous stencil called Fantasy Tile. I love this intricate design. This is going to be great for more intricate backgrounds. Do some ink blending, all kinds of different techniques you can do with this one. It's just so versatile. And then we have a stencil I have already used. It is called Circle Jumble. Now I say stencil, I know some of you are going to correct me and say this is actually a mask. Yes, I know, but stencil's just in my vocabulary right now. So if I call it that, I'm sorry if that annoys you. I'm sorry. Now this, again, I love that it comes in the 6x6 and the 12x12. You can use the 6x6 on your whole card, or you can go with that big size and just pick bits and pieces of the stencil. Here's one or a card I've already used this stencil on. I will leave that video linked down below. Next up, another one I've used is the Explosion stencil. This is one I'm going to be using quite often just because I love the pattern so much. Like I said, I have already used this and put some modeling paste through it. You couldn't even tell I've used it because it cleans so well. But there's a look at that card that I've already done. That is the same video that I have linked down below with that first card I showed. This stencil is one I'm happy I have both sizes in. This is called Cutouts. I love the smaller size to use just kind of as a fun background for adding texture. But this big one, I am super excited to foil some of these pieces up there and just make some really abstract cards. I think that'll be so much fun. You could also layer those larger and smaller designs up with just different shades of green ink, which I think would be really fun too. Now next is another one that I'm going to have some fun playing around with, which is called Shape Landscape. This is great just to add some texture or to mask off those different sections. All you need is some painter's tape to mask those off, and you've got a card design. I mean, this is one, again, I'm happy to have both sizes. The small is great for card makers, but if you want to go a little bit bigger, I also have that option with the 12x12 and just masking off those different areas. I think this bottom portion would be great for like a teenage boy card. I also have some more ideas for that stencil, which I will share in an upcoming video. Next is this circle gray. I love the Crafters Workshop for their very intricate designs and their mandala stencils. This is one where I am so excited to play with this. I already have an idea for this one. I'll share it in an upcoming video too. Next is the dendritic. I hope I am saying that and pronouncing it correctly. This is a fun one. It's going to be great for adding texture. I think it has kind of a sea look, like an ocean look to it, so I'm really excited to use this come summertime when I'm making some more ocean themed cards. This one is going to be great for you mixed media artists. This is called Dash V, I believe. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that, and it's supposed to be the Roman numeral. I'm calling it Dash V. But this is going to be great for adding texture, putting through your modeling paste, those kind of things, and just really adding some fun elements to your designs. Like I said, the Crafters Workshop they are known kind of for their mandalas, really great stencils. This is the fancy mandala. I love these. Like, have you seen the cards where people use like paper doilies and ink blend over that? These are great for that, except you get so many different designs. Here's the stripe mandala you can do the exact same thing with, and just kind of half it on your card, and you've got a great background ready to go. All you need to do is add a sentiment. I love these. They are so great for just creating those very quick cards when you don't have a lot of time. And they hold up better and are reusable compared to your paper doilies. Next up is the Dahlia Trio. This one's a gorgeous one to make a really great focal point on your card. And I love the texture this one has too. It amazes me that this much intricacy can be in a stencil. And I'm just so excited to play around with this one and have some fun creating some focal points on my cards. This next one is a fun one. This is called Geo Netting, and it almost has that 3D look. It's kind of trippy to look at, but this is going to be a good one for those teenage boys, which is where I'm at right now. And I don't know what to make and put on their cards. We had a birthday party the other day, and I was like, man, I don't know what to put on this card. I mean, they're at such an age where, I don't know. I went with football. It is what it is. The next is Fantangle. This is a fun one to just put some on your backgrounds. I am going to be using this one, I know, so much. It's kind of like my burlap stencil that I use so often. This is going to be one that I keep on my desk. Next is the Boxwood print. This has some really great leaves cut out in there, and I love that not a lot of product is going to go through this. There is a lot of space where you're just going to have white space if you ink blend through this. I'm really excited to play around with this one and have some fun with it. This is another one where you're going to have a lot of white space with it because not a lot is cut out. And I love these stencils for just adding those tiny pops of color. This is called Petal Burst. And you get such fine details. You could use your little makeup brushes and really get in there and do some different colors. Next up is Leaf Emblem. This is another one that's going to be great for doing like those old doilies type prints, or even stamping with this one. This is going to be a good one for that. Dry embossing with this one and adding some color to it before you dry emboss. This is a good one that's going to be fun to play around with. Next up is the Faceted Star. I have some ideas for this one too. That's all I'm going to say because it's going to be in an upcoming video. But again, really intricate design. And I love just kind of the symmetric look to this one. I don't know, it speaks to me. And I love this one. Upcoming video, I promise. Next is the Pointel. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This one reminds me of like an old style wallpaper. Using some retro colors, ink blending through this, maybe even ink blending a background, adding some modeling paste through this for a little extra shine. This one's a fun one. Another one of those really intricate designs is the handcut blossom. Really gorgeous. This one has more of a vintage look for me, but again, maybe using those old doily type ink blending through, even adding some modeling paste through this one. This one is called the Quadrangle Fan. This has some great little dots on the left and right hand side, but I did want to show you that this fan does fit on an A2 size card, so if you're worried about that, fits on the card perfectly, so you can really have some fun ink blending in different colors. This is going to be a good one for all of you vintage card makers out there. This is called Vintage Scrolls. You can pick and choose what pieces you want to use. Really great one. All right, next up is Sweet Berries. I love the stencils like this for creating scenes on my cards very quickly. All I do is ink blend a light blue background for this, add in some green where the leaves are, do my berries up with whatever color I want to, add some brown on the stems. Super simple. Next up is wheat stalks. I've already used this. This is one I love. I think the design of this really lends itself to a thinking of you card or a sympathy card, especially like a male sympathy card where you just don't know kind of what images to put on there. This is a good one for that. I've already used it. Again, that same video is going to be linked down below. Next, I am so excited about this one. It's called Lilacs. I love lilac flowers, so I'm excited to make a scene with this one too. Again, I just blend in different colors on different parts of the stencil. You can use some modeling paste through it first and then ink blend over that for some added dimension. A lot of things you can do with these. This is called plumeria. I'm excited to use this kind of off the side of my card and ink blend that way and really create a nice focal point. You could even ink blend and then fussy cut this one and add it to the bottom of your card with a little dimension under it. Gorgeous. Next up is hibiscus. This is going to be fun to play around with come this spring and summer. Play around with different ink blending techniques, modeling paste, that kind of thing. Even foiling this one would be so, so pretty. Next, we have a scene. The scene I love. This is called Lighthouse. I have a thing for lighthouses, I think because my aunt did. This would be perfect to put on that mixed media board and really create kind of a work of art, but have that stencil as your guide. Next up is called Jellyfish. This is, again, going along with those ocean themes. There were some ocean themes in the last release that TCW did. So, again, mix and match your stencils. Create some really fun scenes and backgrounds with them. This would be really fun with some neon colors. Just kind of those neon-looking jellyfish, or even adding neon to that clear, thick gel medium. Keeping with the ocean theme, we have seahorse. This one I'm excited to use that little seahorse as a focal point on the card and adding those bits of seaweed behind. Really fun. Next is conch shells. Again, I'm really excited to have the 6x6 and the 12x12 of this, just because those larger ones can be used as main focal points, or you can create a background just by ink blending all the smaller ones on a background. This one, I love this one. This is called Tropical Fronds. I'm excited to use that large one, first of all. Just use like that top large leaf, like I'm showing right here, and foil just that part on my card. Or use this smaller one and do different colors of green inks and really create just a nice, gorgeous background, kind of like I talked about with the plumeria stencil off the edge of the card for some nice interest. Next stencil is called word stems. You have these gorgeous flowers, and then you have the stems of the flowers being words. So you have sweetness, gather, familia, and dreamer. Great for all you journalers out there. These are going to be fun ones to add. The next stencil is ethereal. You have the word ethereal with the definition down there at the bottom for some nice journaling moments. Then you have some nice textures up top. I have those starbursts. Those are going to be great for adding to maybe some night skies on your cards, that kind of thing. Keeping with that ethereal theme, you have the celestial sun. I like this one. I think this one would be a good one to foil with, or even ink blend through it and do different colors, especially that little headpiece on the sun. That would be fun to do some ink blending colors on. This next stencil, I have a feeling you're going to be seeing a lot of it. I love the pattern on this one, and it's my style. It's called Lush Petals. I have already used this one on a video that I showed yesterday. And all I did was ink blend through it. Now, if you get the larger one, of course, you're going to have the larger pattern. Or if you have the smaller one, you can do the smaller pattern. I used the 6x6 one on my card yesterday, but this is, again, one of those ones. Both sizes are going to be great to use, just depending on what you want on your background. Here, I just ink blended some Flirty Fuchsia ink through it, and you have this gorgeous textured background to add some interest. This one is different, but I love it. This is called Nature's Circuitry. I'm excited to use these as like a focal point on a card and do ink blending on one side, and then on the other side, foil it in like a silver or a gold. I think that's so neat. Even just using like half of the image, or I don't know. It's so different, but I love the idea behind this. I'm going to have some fun and play around with that one. This one is called Bubble Rebound. Again, this is going to be a fun one to play around with. Do different colors in all of those different circles, add different pastes, color up your modeling paste or your gel mediums, and add those through the different circles. Or just ink blend a rainbow. I mean, I love this one. It's going to be a good one to just play around with, especially on more teenager or kids cards. That is going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed an in-depth look at the new release from the Crafters Workshop. If you are interested in any of the stencils that I showed, I have a link to scrapbook.com down below, which has all the new stencils available. That is going to do it for me today. Thanks for watching.